This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and this is a quickie review of Loki: Journey into Mystery. This latest fifth episode of the series, mainly taking place in the Hell planet with the Nephilim creature, horrible creature, whatever that cloud thing was. It's not Dormammu, but similar. From sort of a Lovecraftian floating cloud creature. In the comics it was more of a Lovecraftian, like it was an elder god. But in this version it's not. So Lovecraft was racist, but he did a lot of horror stuff that people have followed, not realizing that's where they got it. Even the comic books, there's a lot of Lovecraft in there. Of course, Loki is from the Thor myth and all that. Loki meets up with other Lokis, like an alligator Loki, a boy Loki, an old man Loki, the big beefy black Loki who's got a hammer, and then there's other ones that show up later that are like other variants. The planet seems to be mainly populated by Lokis from other timelines. Also, Mobius has been transported there too. Running around. They try to get together. They fight. The other ones show up and they fight them too. Apparently, the black one is killed, the alligator guy, and as well as one of the other Lokis. The older Loki and the boy Loki and the alligator Loki team up with him. Back in the TVA, the girl, Sylvie, named after the Space-Time character, who is named after Sylvie, who is named after probably the comics one too. So it's the same source. As well as a non-location character, more a on-location character than anything. But Sylvie in this version is blonde, whereas the on-location character was a brunette. But it didn't say in the story, but she was a brunette. She wasn't blonde. In the other version. But in Space-Time she's a blonde. So they just read that version. That's the version they got to. Because On Location just officially came out. So they couldn't have read it online until just a few weeks ago. So they couldn't have read it. Now, this is Space-Time that they're taking off. And thinking it's part of Marvel because they're confused at Marvel for some reason. Anyway, so I never worked for Disney and Marvel. No, that would be awesome, but no, the channel would be way bigger if I. Anyway, clearly not. She's a Loki. Yeah, so it's in the comic book. Yeah, let's just go with that. She tries to. She's at the TVA. She deals with the character, the Tara Strong character, and the other one. The other one's been put in the holding cell, and the Tara Strong character turns on her. I think that's who that is. The other characters are very forgettable. You know their names when you watch them. They're very forgettable. Is Loki becoming a hero or something? It'd be kind of weird. No, he's still a villain. He's not an anti-hero. He's still a villain. He's doing heroic things, but he's still an anti-hero. Sylvie attempts to get to Loki in the future after learning that the future point in time is where the time ends, allegedly, on this planet. It's a hell, with one L. She goes to the planet, and she gets to the planet by pruning herself. It's messed up. A very, very Pine Hill on location ending there, unlike the one in Space-Time and she gets transported. Pine Hill ending, yes. There were a lot of attempted self-actualizations at Pine Hill issues with people that did stuff like that back then. Not so much mentioned in the journals, but people did that. People were very depressed at Pine Hill. Don't do that. But she transports herself to this future world. The pruning apparently doesn't kill them; it sends them to the future world. this future timeline hill with one L, where they apparently the boy Loki killed Thor, and that's how he became Loki. And there's alligator Loki, and there's she prunes herself. She ends up there, and this spoilers. She ends up there and is rescued by Mobius driving a car that looks like the enchanted car from Harry Potter. I don't think it actually is, but it looks like it. And it would say that there was a lot of sets and backgrounds in it, but it looks like for the most part they used a lot of green screen, like on The Mandalorian. And most of what they're seeing is green screen. And eventually the Lokis encounter her and Mobius. And they have a talky, voices turned down moments after that, which is kind of annoying. So they went back to the talky turned down moments. And they keep suggesting these two are going to bang. Well, he can't bang himself, although apparently that's the only love for him. Is they share a blanket, but it's like a tablecloth. But they didn't do anything. They just played it. Then they go and fight the Dormammu Morpheus Mobius dog thing, the floating cloud thing, and break through to the other side of this weird city that's on the other side, enchanting it. The old Loki is killed. The old man Loki that lived to be old. He's channeling hardcore. He's channeling Monty Python there. He's also Alan Rickman. It's not Alan Rickman because Alan Rickman is dead, but he's channeling Alan Rickman hardcore. And he goes into the future and he disappears. He dies. The other two get through the thing with the monster. They escape into the town, and now there's only one episode left. Mobius had a transport, so he was able to go back with this transport thing, which they could have all used. Yeah, kind of a plot device error there. You have a MacGuffin with you, why not just have everybody go into it? It's like, yeah. And then they just end up back there because they have the plot device with them. And how did he have the plot device with him? Because it would have been gone when he transported. It wouldn't have gone with him. Imply that every time the time person gets transported by the pruning, that they would zap into the future, into the other timeline with their equipment. That's not a very good plan. Yeah, however that works. Still, we're done without the. We're done without the random talking, boring part. But the amorphous fight with the floating cloud thing was actually boring because it was like kind of dark and hard to see. Yeah, you're in a gray background with gray muted colors fighting a gray muted black thing that's going blah. Very, very Lovecraft. Also, very much so. Also kind of like that Fantastic Four movie with years ago where they made Galactus a cloud as well. It's kind of odd. That didn't work either. Silver Surfer one, yeah. The Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's one they don't recognize. Yeah, well, we won't go into that because you can just look that up. I think Thor and the Silver Surfer fought at one point, didn't they? I think they did. Because they're like demigods. Or somebody just really, really likes surfing. And they're like, let's put a character that floats on a surfboard. So anyway, the story. He likes spiders too. I don't think Silver Surfer was one of Stan Lee's characters. I think it was another guy. But yeah, can't be too sure on that. Anyway, so we have Loki acting heroic, although he's still a villain. It's kind of like the reverse of the Scarlet Witch WandaVision, in which she was actually acting like a villain. And it's kind of the same plot, because in a sense the timekeepers, who are now revealed to be fake, whoever is controlling the timekeeper thing, the Tara Strong character. And I could be wrong on that. That could be somebody else, but I think that is Tara Strong, that character. But that's not her name. That's the actress. But Tom Hiddleston is the but yeah, so I'm not sure who's playing Sylvie though. Yeah. Like the character from Space Time I, not the comic book one. Yeah. Anyway, so so yeah, except for those 2 or 3 parts where it got kind of pedantic and weird. It was okay. I don't know how they're going to solve it with one hour next week. That's it. 1 hour. This is the penultimate episode. I don't know.